Okay, let's just get right into it. We're going to talk about a feeling that has become, well, way too common. It's that nagging sense that you're just not interested in anything anymore. But more importantly, we're going to break down exactly why this is happening inside your brain and lay out a clear plan to get your focus and your joy back.
So let's just start with a really direct question. Does this sound at all familiar? You have things you want to do. Maybe you even have goals you were once excited about, but when it's actually time to do them, there's just nothing. It's like a void where your motivation used to live.
And if you're nodding your head right now, you are definitely not alone. This feeling usually shows up as a whole package of symptoms, right? Your focus is just shot. You can have a perfect color-coded plan laid out, but there is zero drive to actually get it done. You might watch videos about discipline, but when you try to apply it, it's like trying to grab smoke. And maybe the hardest part of it all, you slowly start losing respect for yourself.
So what in the world is going on here? Why are so many of us feeling this way? Well, the science is pointing to one major culprit that's been quietly hijacking our brains. It's what some experts are calling a dopamine overdose.
Now, the way this works is actually pretty simple. Dopamine is a chemical in your brain, and it's basically in charge of your entire reward system. So when you do something that feels good, eat some junk food, get a like on a post, watch a funny video, your brain releases a little hit of dopamine. And that good feeling tells your brain, hey, that was great, let's do that again. And just like that, you've created a powerful loop. So what's the effect of being stuck in this constant loop? It is staggering. Get this. A study found that the average human attention span has now shrunk to just 8 seconds. Yep, that's officially less than a goldfish. We are so overstimulated that we can't even focus on one single thing for more than a few moments.
And this has a serious long-term cost. I want you to really think about this for a second. If you just continue with your current scrolling habits over your entire lifetime, you could end up spending a combined 14 years of your life just scrolling. 14 years, gone, lost to a feedback loop you never even consciously signed up for.
Okay, so here is the absolute crucial point we need to understand. Not all dopamine is created equal. Our brains are getting totally flooded, but the quality of that reward matters a lot. This is where we have to understand the difference between what we call cheap versus premium dopamine. This chart really breaks down the whole problem. On one side, you've got cheap dopamine. This is the stuff that comes from easy, passive things, like endlessly scrolling social media, playing video games, or binge-watching shows. And the result? It actually drains your motivation for anything that's even slightly difficult, and it leaves you just craving more and more of that instant gratification. But then on the other side, you have premium dopamine. This is the good stuff. It's the reward you get from finishing a tough project, crushing a workout, or finally mastering a new skill. It builds real motivation and actually makes you better. The problem is, when we're constantly getting flooded with cheap dopamine, the premium rewards start to feel, well, not worth the effort.
But here is the good news. You can absolutely fix this. You can reset your brain's reward system and take back control. And we're going to walk through a really clear 5-step plan to do exactly that. It's called a dopamine detox. All right, so here's the roadmap. It's simple. First, we're going to figure out what's causing the problem, our triggers. Then we'll replace those with healthy habits. After that, we make the bad habits harder to do. We'll start small with some detox windows. And finally, we'll build a system that you can actually stick with for the long run. Let's break it down.
Okay, step 1 is all about awareness. Seriously, grab a pen and paper or open a note on your phone and make a brutally honest list of the things that give you that instant cheap rush. The usual suspects are on the screen, but get specific with yours. And here's the key action. You have to start interrupting the loop. If you know you get lost scrolling Instagram, set a 10-minute alarm on your phone every single time you open the app. That alarm is your wake-up call. It snaps you out of the trance. And that leads perfectly into step 2, which is so important. See, here's the thing about our brains. It's incredibly hard to just stop doing something. It's much easier to replace a bad habit with a good one. You have to fill that void left by the cheap dopamine with sources of that premium stuff. And please, don't think for a second that these replacement habits are boring. This is wild. Research shows that a healthy practice like meditation can trigger a dopamine release 65 times more powerful than your normal baseline. That is a massive, sustainable reward that scrolling could never, ever compete with. Things like working out, learning an instrument, or even just journaling create a far superior feeling of accomplishment.
Next up, step 3, create friction. I love this old saying, if there's no bamboo, the flute cannot play. The idea is simple. If you want to stop the music of your bad habits, you've got to remove the bamboo, the easy access that enables them. You have to make it harder for your future lazier self to slip up.
So how do we actually do that? Well, here are some super simple but powerful actions. Move those addictive apps off your home screen and bury them in a folder. Turn on gray mode in your phone's settings. It makes the screen black and white, and studies show this simple change can cut screen time by nearly 40 minutes a day just because it's less exciting to look at. Turn off every single notification that isn't from a real human being. And finally, create physical distance. When you work or sleep, put your phone in another room. This brings us to step 4, and it brings us to a feeling you're definitely going to run into: boredom. But here's the mindset shift. In today's world, being able to tolerate boredom, well, that's a premium skill. It's the only time your brain finally gets a chance to rest, process information, and generate its own ideas instead of just consuming someone else's.
I mean, think about this for a second. Our brains have become so weak that a lot of us can't even stand to be alone with our own thoughts without reaching for a distraction. And if you can't find yourself interesting enough to spend time with, how can you expect anyone else to? Reclaiming boredom is really about reclaiming your own mind. And this all leads us to step 5, which is building a system that actually lasts. A fantastic way to structure this is with the 80-20 rule. Aim for 80% of your day to be focused on productive things that give you that premium dopamine. working, learning, creating, exercising. Then, consciously allow yourself the other 20% for planned entertainment. But with one critical rule, you have to use a timer. This way, you're the one in control, not the algorithm.
And what's the ultimate reward for doing all this work? It's not about turning yourself into some kind of productivity robot. Not at all. It's about resetting your baseline for happiness. When your brain isn't constantly overloaded, you'll start to find genuine joy in small, simple things again. You know, helping a friend, tidying your room, taking a quiet walk. The world literally becomes more vibrant.
So, I'm just gonna leave you with this question. Following this path, look, it's gonna be challenging at first. You're gonna feel that pull to go back to the easy, cheap rewards. But doing this work means you will finally be able to reclaim your focus, your drive, and your self-respect. So, are you ready to learn how to spend time with yourself again?